Hello, beasties. Welcome to the lair. How's everybody doing tonight? Are we having fun yet? Hi, Raven. Good to see you over here. Hi, Papa. Patty will be back in a minute. I don't know how many other people we're going to have right now, but that's okay. So, what has everybody been up to? I hope you've had a good few days. It has been a rough couple, but hey, why not? But, hey, Mayor. How are you? So, I decided we could use a laugh with some stuff. We could check out some other things and just amuse ourselves for a little bit. Hey, Paul. How are you? Raven, I mean, mostly yours good. That's enough. So, then we have the croc. Hi, Cranky Croc. Yeah, Paul's surviving is today. Hi, Cranky Croc.
Hello.
Hey, Croco.
Still here. Yep. How are you two?
So, hey, Pokey. Doctor's appointment. I hope everything goes well. Hi, Fred. Well, thank you, Fred. I will be back on screen in a day or so, just adjusting some things. I was recently in the hospital, so I need a little more color to my face before I get back. Hey, Patrick. So, I don't know how many of you. Do you want to do the funny thing first, or do I want to make fun of the frauditor first? Which one do I want to do, guys? Hey, Society Red. Which are we doing first?
I say we make fun of frauditors.
Okay, well, this is just a statement, and I just, hey, Creed, you know
Creed.
how I feel
hey, Danny.
about stupid. So we're gonna look at. Oh yeah, Paul. We're gonna look at some epic stupid. Okay. Everybody's favorite. I know we all know him. Let's say hi to Long Island Audit, sir. I'm sorry. This might be the dumbest community post I've seen in a long time. Fellow patriots, I will most likely be arrested tomorrow on felony charges. Hey, Memento. On felony charges. I was just informed by an inside source that Nassau County Police Commissioner Patrick Ryder has ordered the detective from the detective squad at the 3rd Precinct to take a supporting deposition from Officer Kenneth Keller so he can charge me with unlawful surveillance, a Class E felony. The official story is I'm being charged because I wasn't recording overtly in the publicly accessible area of the Nassau DSS during my most recent visit. No, I'm not going to go watch your video. You don't deserve the view. And then we're gonna go with, oh my god, everybody's out to get me. Conspiracy. I'm being arraigned on criminal trespass, and they're gonna arrest me after arraignment. Yeah, no one cares. Sir. 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 If you think you are about to be arrested on a felony, maybe don't post about it the day before on YouTube. I mean, sir, announcing that you think you're going to get arrested after your court hearing. Hey, they're going to figure out who told you this. Okay? They're going to figure out who your confidential source was. And they're not going to be a source anymore. But 2, You're an idiot. Like, look. Oh no, see, Alan. I know it's his grift, but I'll get to there. Hey, Navitex, I'm gonna address the grift part to this in a minute. But, sir, hey, Grandma Wolf,
Hi, Grandma.
you are lucky that all they're doing is charging you with that. You cannot. There's a reason when you're in a public place where you can record, it has to be like plainly done. Hey, Sandy, no apologies. Otherwise, that would be
Hi,
kind of like
Sandy.
wiretapping and covert things. And I know if it's not Admiralty law or law from Morocco, hey Victoria, or God knows what else, like hey Cynthia, that this is all a little hard for people, okay? But dumb shit, if you're going to be arrested, hey Frauditor Watch, I will get back to you on our date for when we can stream and have fun. But Long Island Hard, it's like, seriously, don't be like, look, I'm going to get arrested tomorrow at this day and this time. I am sorry, that could not have more, like, main character. Hey, AZ. AZ, did you see Long Island Auditor has announced that they're going to be arrested for a felony tomorrow after they're arraigned for criminal trespass? Like seriously. My man, I know you're trying to give everybody main character energy here. I know you think you are the star of this show. Sir, nobody could give a fuck less. Okay? I think I'm going to be arraigned tomorrow. Now, here's the other problem to that. If you don't show up because you don't want to be arrested, oh, yeah, here with Grandma Wolf, I'll put that back up since you guys came in a little bit late. Hey, Spencer. Hold on. Let me put the dipshit's statement back up for everyone that was a little bit late here. Yes, Captain Main Character Energy, who is upset that he's probably going to be arrested tomorrow. So now when you have a failure to appear because you don't want to get arrested for a second charge, it's going to be considered premeditated, you dumb shit. If you're being arraigned on criminal trespass, like, you know you're doing it wrong. Unlawful surveillance. Yeah, no, it does apply. Like, hi, Kimmy. You have to be standing there with a goddamn camera. If somebody says they didn't know you were recording, I'm like, oh, seriously. And you're lucky you were near. Pennsylvania's a two-party consent state, so you'd be even more fucked. But, dude, it's not unlawful. You're an idiot. Stop with the main character energy. Stop thinking that everybody cares. I know you have nothing better to do with your time, but sir, I'm gonna need you to figure something out. Because this is not it. On this channel, we find people a lot more amusing than you. So, sir, I hope you enjoy your chrome bracelets. Make sure you don't have a failure to appear because, again, it would be premeditated that you'd be running. And so that would be a felony. I mean, it's already for an FTA, but you're going to get your FTA kicked up a little bit. So, yes. Maybe don't. Maybe don't speculate. And, you know, as much as I want Grandma Wolf and everyone, as much as I want to see him get arrested, there's a part of me that wants him to not get arrested and then have to come back to work. I mean, like, no, they didn't arrest me. I was wrong. Damn it. Like, you made a whole ass post trying to be special, and then they don't arrest you. Like, I'm sorry. That to me, that's poetic. Dumb shit. That's okay. I have a video later that maybe we'll wait. Hey. Okay, apparently my mouse died for a minute there. Hello, Parsons. Hello, Paul, Kimmy, everybody. Yay, Pat. Okay, so, give me some, I'm going to need an answer in the chat. If you were here for the story about the gentleman who thought he was going to join the Mile High Club solo and was told no, if you were here for that, put a 1 in the chat. If you have no clue what I'm talking about, put a 2 in the chat so I know that I need to cover that before I cover the follow-up to Captain Happy. And I'm not talking about Captain Happy with the wrench. I'm talking about the gentleman on Delta who just, all the wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
I swear.
Okay. We're gonna take a walk. We're gonna take a walk down memory lane. Okay? What do you think? We'll walk down memory lane here? I vote we do that.
Memory Lane. Memory Lane would be a great place to go. Let's go.
Let's go. To anybody that has no, yeah. Just so you guys know, this is the kind of stupid that I'd like to find and amuse myself with. Okay. So here we go. Oh no, see, Alan, it is better because he got told no. All the no. All of it. Okay. Minneapolis, and this was in April. The rapper designer was charged Monday with one federal count of indecent exposure on an aircraft after authorities say he masturbated on a flight from Tokyo to Minneapolis. The misdemeanor filed against the rapper, whose real name is Sidney Royal Selby the third, is punishable by no more than 90 days of imprisonment and a $500 fine. The charges came just days after he announced in a tweet that he was ashamed about what happened on a plane and he was admitting himself to a facility to get help and was canceling his shows. Mental health, he wrote, is real. Well, it is, but apparently yours is not there. The criminal complaint, said a flight attendant first spotted Selby exposing himself about 60 to 90 minutes into the April 17th Delta flight. He covered himself, but 5 minutes later, 2 flight attendants spotted Selby masturbating. Again, he was told no. He covered himself. The first no wasn't enough. The first was not enough.
Don't I recall that he was hot for one of the stewardesses?
We're getting there. He got told no the first time. So you know what? Wait 5 minutes.
And he managed to strike out completely in Japan.
But we're getting there. Hold on. And then we got yada a second time. It's been 10 minutes, sir. Sir, 10 minutes. Okay? I don't know what to tell you. The lead flight attendant then came to Selby's first class seat and said he was going to be arrested. A short time later, a flight attendant spotted him doing it again. What part of this did we miss? What part of this? We're going to arrest you. Okay. Right back at it. My man? Sir.
Well, he is persistent.
I don't know. They then moved him to the back of the plane where he had to sit between his travel companions. He told a security guard he was bugging, had messed up, and he was sorry. He apologized to the air crew and was detained. I love this part. When questioned by the FBI, Selby said he didn't get much in Japan, and he found one of the flight attendants attractive, so he had exposed himself. Sir, look, this is just from one female to another. Well, like, on behalf of the other females, okay? If we yell at you or say no the first 3 times, it's not going to get any better, okay? Doing it again, that's not going to make us want you just because you're no. When they said no, we're not going to reconsider. They had multiple, they thought about it, they looked at you and went, no, I'm not doing that. Stop, just give up. You got to know when to stop. It's like the gambler, know when to hold them, know when to fold them. God, and don't hold that. Idiot got arrested. Cool.
Isn't this the time when a taser would come in handy?
I don't know, but just no.
Not allowed to carry those on a plane anyway.
The marshals.
Everybody's known like that. I thought this was hysterical because I think I was in tears laughing that night. That was the night that I looked like a boy. That was the night I had my baseball cap on and was doing shots on camera. Yep. Yeah. Okay. So what can I say? On this channel, we do shots on camera and look like teenage boys. But whatever. So I happened to be scrolling through the news, and I would like to point out that sir, I'm sorry, your application for admission to the Solo Mile High Club has been denied. 3 separate times.
In less than an hour.
And if you can't get laid in Japan and you're a celebrity, I don't even know. Sir. I just, sir. Raven, yeah, he was trying to, I don't know, but, well, I've been following this because I said I was going to follow it because I thought it was funny. Because just no. Yeah, see, Alan, I think when I originally read it, I told everybody I was going to walk around with like a squirt bottle of water and a rolled up newspaper. Just smack him on the nose. Nope, bad. Spray him in the face. Well, we have an update. Rapper designer sentenced after exposing himself. He's not being required to register as a sex offender. Damn it. Well, you know, ironically, up until this, they were saying that they were going to have to, that he was going to have to register, which would have been amusing to me. But now, no, they got him out of that. The rapper designer has been sentenced after exposing himself on an airline earlier this year. However, despite recent reports, he will not be required to register as a sex offender. The 26-year-old panda rapper, I don't even want to know, whose real name is Sidney Royale Selby III, was sentenced to 120 hours of community service, fined $5,000, and will remain on probation for 2 years after he was charged with masturbating on a flight from Tokyo to Minneapolis. After the flight attendant spotted him, the rapper exposing himself, the criminal complaint claimed he quickly covered himself, only to be caught masturbating about 5 minutes later by the same flight crew. At the time, they said he continued to do so after he was told multiple times to stop. As previously reported, designer would have to register as a sex offender for indecent exposure. His attorney says that's untrue. Regarding the issue of Mr. Selby registering as a sex offender, many news outlets have incorrectly stated that he is required to register as an absolute condition of his probation. They are wrong. Since this is a federal misdemeanor, the sentencing judgment states that if the state of California or some other government entity requires that Mr. Selby must register, he must. However, the parties in this case have come to the legal conclusion after significant research and consultations with lawyers in California that this misdemeanor conviction is not one that will cause him to have to register as a sex offender. If some government agency in California disagrees with our analysis, then we will address that matter at that point in time. Legal documents obtained by People stated the Timmy Turner rapper was charged with one count of obscenely and indecently exposed genitalia at a public place. When questioned, he said he didn't get much in Japan and was finding a flight attendant attractive, so he just thought this was a great way to pick her up. Maybe ask her for a drink. Don't just like whip it out. No. Yeah, he apparently tried to work on his mental health. For the past few months, I've not been okay. I've been struggling to come to terms with what is going on. Sir, everybody is struggling to come to terms with what was going on because there is not enough eye bleach. Nobody wanted to see this.
Especially
You should be charged with inducing PTSD. Like PTSD for these poor flight attendants. Sir, you're absolutely no. Well, yeah, Cynthia, this was his idea of flirting. Like, oh, she's hot. Let me just whip it out. No, Sid, no woman ever looked at that and was like, yep, you know what? That's the man of my dreams right there. No. Don't whip it out on the plane. You're not doing yourself any favors. And I can tell you, you will earn yourself a real interesting nickname if you end up in jail. I just ask her out for a beer or buy her a drink. Something. Anything other than just like whipping it out. And then, no. Maybe the second time? Third time's the charm? Sir, what the fuck? He's about as smart as some of these auditors. You're like, how many times do I have to tell you no? It doesn't work that way. Sir. But yes. Yes. No. I just can't. It's like, what is wrong with this person? I just can't.
I've got Furies, none of which are G-rated or
It's after 10 o'clock.
PG-rated or
It's after 10 o'clock.
or
You're good.
R-rated.
It's after 10 o'clock. You're good.
Oh,
Okay,
dude needs a date with Rosie. Oh, wait, that's
well,
what he was trying to do.
yeah, 3 times, and Rosie apparently it wasn't enough for him because he was a flight attendant, but I don't know. But so now's when most of these people are not here for my interactions and issues with the gentleman who wanted to join the solo club. So we will fill everybody in. You hear that things like this only happen on planes? No, stupid shit like this happens in my world too. See, Mayor Rancher, what I said. He wanted a solo membership to the Mile High Club. Unfortunately, we're going to have to deny that application. So when I was down in New Orleans, guys, I got a phone call that my mother had called the police because she looked out the window when you're standing at my kitchen sink into the middle of the backyard at 11 o'clock in the morning, bright sunny day, and there was a gentleman who just laying on his back like a starfish in the middle of my backyard, just going to town with himself. No clue who he was. None.
Wow.
Yeah. So
That's
my
creepy.
lovely mother, my lovely mother, having no clue what to do, calls police. Police,
Good instinct.
police go. I'm sure he'll be done by the time I get here. By the time we get there, but we'll come anyways. The police get there. No. No, Cynthia, this was in Pennsylvania. This was not in New Orleans. It was not Mardi Gras. No. It was just like a random ass day. In the middle of, I don't know. So the police got there and he was still going to town. I don't know whether to give him props for longevity. I have no idea. But it's my understanding that they were all standing there just watching him and he just still going to town. And until somebody very loudly yelled, to which at that point he then just rolled over face down and proned out with his arms out. Cynthia, I was in New Orleans. My mom was at my house here in PA. And he got yelled at and he rolled over onto his stomach and did what we call proning out, with putting his arms out to his sides. They handcuffed him and returned. Yeah, he got arrested. And trespassed off my property. But the best part is, it was just like a random person. No clue. Yeah, no, he apparently was taken to the hospital for being intoxicated. Oh, have fun, easy Jeep girl. And he just wandered away and decided that my backyard looked like a nice place. He's probably lucky my mother was here and not me and small children. Because I'm not going to yell at you out a window if I see you doing that in the middle of my backyard with a child at my house. You're going to have bigger problems than that. Unfortunately, we did find out he was Megan's Law. He was a registered offender, but still, I just no. So no. When the mood strikes, you need to stop and think about it. Stop and think about it, and just no, never a good idea. Okay. See, Alan, I may have forced the other person, my other half, to spray my entire backyard with Clorox, and then throw away my small child's playhouse because we could see on the security camera that he had been touching her stuff, like her little playhouse. It went in the garbage, and the backyard got Cloroxed. I had a giant patch of dead grass.
Uh-oh.
I killed the grass. I'm sorry. I don't. There's not enough. Oh, Fraudster Watch. I mean, like, in theory, but not in this house. Not in this house. In this house, we go with 338 Lapua Magnum. Or like a 50 or No.
The 50 would be more effective.
Yeah, the 338 lapel would have been effective too. Just leave a crater in the back of the yard. No, Roundup did a great job killing everything in the middle of the backyard. It was great. But yeah, so there's our 40 millimeter board. But yes, so there we go. There's our update. Patty, I know you really wanted to know what happened to Captain Happy on a plane.
Yeah, that was keeping me awake at night, wondering what happened to Captain Happy.
As opposed to
Not.
being kept alive during the day.
Okay. So now we have our choice, guys.
So-
should we go with the dumbest reason to use a firearm story?
Okay. No.
Okay.
I want to know. I want video of Mom seeing that there's a guy in the backyard playing with himself. That's what I want to see.
No, my mom literally is cardigan twin set and pearls. She called somebody a bitch once and then blushed, and the entire family pretty much fell off their chairs laughing.
Well, that's why I want to see the video of Mom seeing the guy in the backyard.
Well, all she could say to me is, I had to call the police. They need to talk to you about. I had to call the police because this gentleman. Just put the police on the phone. Hey, there's a dude jerking off in the backyard. What? Wait, what? I'm gonna need you to repeat yourself. I thought what you just said to me was. I thought you just said to me.
Just getting her to repeat it would be funny.
Oh, you said there's a dude jerking off in the backyard. We did. Do you know him? No? Okay. Sir? No. All of the no. Why? Get out of my backyard. For the rest of the day, I was just like, what? Like, what do you even say to that? The police were like, there's a guy jerking off the backyard. Excuse you, what? I'm gonna need you to repeat that.
At least he wasn't holding his little soldier hostage and then shot himself in it.
I was just like, I don't know. I don't know. I was dying. I was just like, what are you doing? Although I did say, one of the cops was like, I'm amazed he was able to comfortably roll onto his stomach. I'm like, oh my God. Only men, that would be the first thought in their head.
Kickstand.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, 762 can be a burst of a cancellation round, but Predator Watch, as everybody knows, I generally only, if I'm going with a long gun, it is always going to be a 338 Lapua or a 50 BMG. You can choose. You can go Canadian with the Macmillan or American with the Barrett. Your choice. But I don't know. So how about we go with the dumbest Florida man neighbor? That makes me want to go, sir. I need to talk to you about what's realistic. How about we do that one? What do you think, guys? Yeah, Raven, that would have been amazing. 30-06, not my thing. I wonder how good of a shot I could have. Never mind. Oh, Lord. Okay, here we go. If this doesn't say Florida man, I don't know what does today. This idiot. Yep, you guys are reading that one right. 78-year-old man shot and killed his neighbor because he was trimming tree limbs along the property line. Sir, that is what you took. There's this thing called, like, reasonable, right?
Yep.
Reasonable use of force. Proportionate to what's going on. I don't think this is that. Okay? I don't. How are you going to explain this to a lawyer and a judge? Like, yeah, I shot and killed my neighbor. He was trimming the tree. The fuck? My man.
At least he wasn't trimming the bush.
Hey, might have gotten better then. I don't know. A 78-year-old Florida man is facing second-degree murder charges after shooting and killing his neighbor who was trimming trees over the property line. What? The incident involving, I'm not even trying to say the last name, of Deleon Springs happened at 7:13 p.m. The victim, 42-year-old Brian Ford, was trimming tree limbs along the fence line when the man confronted him about being on his property. The sheriff's office said he threatened to shoot him, and when Ford didn't leave, he shot him. Sir, why does this look like somebody that's going to be a frauder? This man right here. Does he not scream?
Oh, Mr. Juzlowski.
Like this dude screams, "I'm an auditor." Right there. I'm sorry. Look at that. Have fun, Predator Watch. I'll catch you after. Sad news to report. We have to deal with a fatal shooting because you were trimming tree branches. What?
How do you do this?
Yeah, we're not going to read that about the kid. What were you saying?
I want to know how you trim trees with a gun.
I just want to know why trimming tree limbs that are hanging over a fence warrants shooting someone. Like, I have questions.
Questions that are unlikely to be forthcoming.
Or answers that are actually coherent and make sense.
Sir, you shot your neighbor. Uh-huh. Why? He was trimming a tree. Okay. Yes, Murica. My guy, what are you doing? My guy, let's not. Oh, I almost put that one up. That should not have gone up. Where is? Let's see. Oh, okay. We can talk about things like we can talk about FAFO. Or, you know what? I think I'm gonna have to go with this one first, though, because I have a question about what in the fuck is going on in Alabama and how bad you hate music. I have questions.
But that really means he's not listening to the right music for him.
The Alabama high school band director was stunned and arrested after telling students to keep playing music. You got tased because you told the band to keep playing. What? Attendees and students at a high school football game in Alabama last week were left stunned and confused after police officers tased and detained a high school band director who told the students to not stop playing their instruments. Were they... Okay. The arrest took place when Birmingham police officers were attempting to clear the football stadium following the team's 27-0 loss. Oh, God. The officers instructed both bands to stop playing so people wouldn't linger. Instead, the band director said, keep playing. So the officers decided to place him in custody for disorderly conduct. And then they tased him. Okay, well, I'm sorry. Something about this band director. What? What? But like,
I got nothing.
Paramedics had to treat him before they took him to the hospital. He was charged with disorderly conduct, harassment, resisting arrest. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to say that was unnecessarily heavy-handed, okay? Was the music that bad? Hey, Darth. I mean, what? Can you imagine if these police officers, these FAFO police officers that were dealing with a band, dealt with auditors? Can you see this discussion? I'm not driving, I'm traveling. Oh, there's lightning. No auditor. They would all twitch. They would literally, like, every officer would just, like, every frauditor would be gone. You played music, I tase you. That's reasonable. Okay, you apparently need to go to Florida to discuss reasonable with the gentleman who shot someone for trimming a tree. What are we doing it? Like, what are we doing here, people? I'm sorry, between people jerking off on planes, shooting their neighbor for trimming a tree, or tasing a band director. What? What? Like, no. What are we doing? Sir. There we go, Patty. Patty, you want to read Sandy's?
The band immediately went into, I shot the sheriff. I love it.
Oh, Lord.
Sandy's on fire.
Yeah, Paul, I do appreciate this joke. I will tell you, on our channel, the only pronouns we use are fucker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This has been declared. Oh, yeah. Darth Hideous gets this one. I shot the neighbor so he wouldn't prune the fucking tree. Go, Darth. Yes. Yeah. Our gender neutral pronoun is fucker.
Yeah, fucker is our chosen pronoun.
I played Baby Shark on stream the other night. I got a copyright claim within 30 seconds. I didn't care. It was worth it. It was worth it. Hey, Spencer. But
Croco was not amused.
I was highly amused. And every time I hear it, all I can think of is Fluffy now. Hit Raven. Telling the band, what are you in jail for? I told the band to keep playing. Like, here's my other question. Like, would they have shot the dude on the Titanic that told the band to play, orchestra play, go down to ship, keep playing?
They had nothing better to do.
I don't know. But yeah, why? Why? Just, why? So much why. I feel like it should, like, actual give knowledge, but you know what? I think, should we give actual knowledge? Or should we just, what do we want to do, guys? How about FAFO?
FAFO's always good.
Hey, dumbass. An Ohio man wanted for the murder of a 77-year-old woman was shot by a man defending his family during a home invasion on Thursday, according to the Fayette County Sheriff's Office. Michael James Brooks, II of Columbus, Ohio, was hospitalized Friday for injuries sustained during the home invasion. When he's released from medical care, he'll face charges for burglary, home invasion, and theft by receiving in Georgia and murder charges in Ohio. Investigators say Brooks has an extensive criminal history. He's wanted in connection with the fatal stabbing of Emily Foster, which occurred on September 9th, 2023 in Columbus, Ohio, and also for the carjacking of a red Ford F-150 in Kettering, Ohio, which was found outside the home he burglarized in Georgia. Way to self-snitch. Fayette County Sheriff's Office, the deputies responded to a burglary call at the home just before 2 a.m. on Thursday. Security alarm at the home also alerted police to a potential intruder. Deputies were less than 3 minutes away, and the homeowner was armed with a gun and confronted him, who made the tragic mistake of bringing a knife to a gunfight. Sir? Why? This is exactly why we don't bring the knife to the gunfight, because the homeowner warned him and then shot him. Okay. He took his stand as the subject made his way up to the second floor. He made the comment something to the effect of, "You're going to have to kill me," when the resident fired a second shot. That's about the time the deputies got here. What we can tell, he was coming down the stairway with a second gunshot wound. At that point, they still struggled with him as they took him into custody. He was taken to Grady with 2 gunshots. Well, apparently we need to talk about what things like fatal funnels are. And I'm sorry, you brought a knife to a gunfight. You brought a knife to a gunfight. Got shot once, and then looked at the man and said, "You're going to have to kill." What makes you, sir?
You're gonna have to shoot me again. Okay.
What makes you think he's not going to do it a second time?
Premise.
What? Like what? You brought a knife to a gunfight. You got shot. The guy takes up a defensive position, which, I mean, good on him, but whatever. Hey, Suzanne. Takes up a defensive position, and you're like, with a gun, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to FAFO. You're going to have to shoot me if you don't want me coming up there. Okay. Do it again.
I accept your offer, and I will do that right now.
Sure. Ask, and you shall receive. What are you doing? Sir. And I'm sorry.
Level up with new terms. I mean, I don't know.
Either do I. Although I will say, no, Sod, it wasn't a warning shot. He shot him the first time because the idiot brought a knife to the gunfight.
You don't go into somebody's house that's armed with a gun and bring a knife and try and burglarize the house. And when they take up a defensive position, say, "You'll have to shoot me again." Because
after you've already been shot once. He'd already been shot once at that point.
Shot again.
You were already shot once. What makes you think we're not going to do this a second time? Like, my guy, I hate to break it to you. If someone's going to get charged, it doesn't matter if I shoot you once or 4 times. You're getting charged once. They're not charging you for every bullet, so you might as well get it out. Navy Techs. Are you? Navy Techs, gladly. Give me 1 minute. Wait, where are you? Are you on any of my socials? You'll have to let me know. But yeah, like, no. That was like when I had, somewhat early when Patty, I was like 500 or so subscribers when I had the stalker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had someone that announced they were going to stalk me. Sir, the last person you want to stalk is a sniper. Send me a message on Instagram and I'll send it to you. I'll send you a link. Literally I'm probably the last person you want to stalk.
Oh no, I think I'm the last person anybody wants to stalk. I'm meaner than you are about it.
You're not meaner than me.
Yeah, but I call them chipmunks instead of stalkers. That way, if somebody's listening in, nobody gets offended.
They still get offended and then they call me and whine.
Yeah, but they don't reach out to me anymore.
No, but they're on several other channels I watch and they catch me in the chat every time.
Text me and I'll go in the chat as somebody else and mess with them. I'll use my ulterior personality.
Navy text. I am on my Instagram. I do not see it yet. When it comes through, I will send that on over to you. I don't see you. A sniper or a tow baby like me? Raven, what's your question, darling? A sniper? Me? Because I am. I mean, I get the fun. It's kind of my job. Oh, here we go. There you are.
Sandy, me too. Dog just lets you know that I'm around.
I had to look.
And I apologize. Blanche is not happy with the neighbors tonight.
It's okay. No one cares. There we go. Yeah, I intentionally, like, I have a fatal funnel. Intentionally at my house. You have to come up a staircase to my second floor. And then you are screwed. Because I force you into a fatal funnel. And you're not getting around a corner. Yeah, Carl, I threw that. Carl, how do you not know this? We lost the Croc. Croc.
Hello, I'm here.
Yeah,
Hi, Croc.
Carl. Yes, Carl. Although I'm not allowed to be called a sniper because it's apparently mean and hurts people's feelings. So the politically correct term is I am a certified precision marksman. But yes, I am a competitive marksman, and I also do stuff for not competition. But
Also, just to give Carl a heads up here, there are lots of female snipers from Eastern Europe and Western Asia.
well, that would be because us females are better shots than men. It's biological. Okay, everybody, let's welcome Navy Tex. Hello, Navy Tex.
Hey, how y'all doing tonight? How y'all doing?
Hey,
We're
Tex,
doing good. How are you?
Oh, not too bad, not too bad. I'm loving the stream though. This is hilarious.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think you've only seen me in chat. You haven't had to come. You haven't joined us on the Everybody Fuck Around stream because Loki has absolutely no filter and says stupid shit to everybody.
Yeah, I know. And I think the last couple times when I've seen you, I think before you probably weren't feeling too good, and so it's been a minute.
Yeah, sorry.
No,
But,
there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, being sick's a bitch. But hey. Yeah, no, the fatal funnel thing, like, if you really, it's just a bad idea to come up my stairs. I'm not the one you want to stalk. I'm really not.
Well, and that's what I was saying before. Like, the way I was trained to do this, growing up in Texas and stuff like that, is that there's no such thing as a warning shot. Like, if you come to my door, the warning is that it's locked and you don't have a key, right? And two, we get told don't stop until you neutralize the threat. Okay. So there's not going to be a chance for him to be like, "Oh, this tickles, do it again." Mm-mm.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna critique the gentleman too badly. I do critique many people shooting, but maybe he didn't have his glasses on. It was the middle of the night. Who knows? I can tell you if you come into my home, it's going to be one and done. Because I don't know if you were on any of my streams when I routinely concealed carry a 44 Magnum Desert Eagle or my 50 caliber Desert Eagle routinely.
I remember you talking about that. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so that leaves really big holes. I don't know that if I make any kind of body shot with one of those, that I'm going to have to worry about a second shot.
Right. I just
No,
want to
it
make
pretty
sure.
much punches a hole through.
I'm all about redundancy is the pure form of making sure you know something's done. And that's why I love my hollow points. So, yeah.
It depends. Hollow points do have their uses, but there are also points where they are not, in fact, the most effective. So, Raven, it's actually a really, really good thing that you comment on this, where you said empty the mag because they can sue if they're still alive. That is not true in every state. That is state dependent. It is It is dependent on your state's castle doctrine and on if you have a duty to retreat and on several other things. In Pennsylvania, you cannot sue for injuries sustained when you got shot breaking in the commission of a crime.
That's what my buddy was telling me about one time, because the problem is, I guess in some states, if you shoot to wound, right, it's considered inhumane. And so they can
Hey,
come
Raz.
back and sue you. Go ahead, sorry.
Okay, so that okay. Yes and no. No, it has nothing to do with being considered inhumane. Okay, nothing to do with that. What it is in certain states, you can sue. It's a civil remedy, so civil liability for it, for the injuries. And what they say is, if you shoot to wound, or shot to stop them, whatever it is, you obviously were not in true fear for your life. Is how that generally gets passed.
What?
But so in those states where you're allowed to sue, like if someone breaks in, you shoot to wound, and then they sue you, and they win generally, it is because it's ruled in the court that if you were truly, scared for your life to a point where it warranted and necessitated, you using a firearm, you should not be shooting to wound. You should be shooting to kill and completely eliminate the threat. And if you didn't, you're just proving that you weren't that scared. Is where they get you on that. It's not that it's inhumane. They just justify it by saying, well, obviously lethal force wasn't justified because you weren't scared. Because you just wounded them. That if you were truly in fear for your life. But that it depends on your state, castle doctrine, and stand your ground.
That's why I love Texas. I got told one time by a Texas cop, because as long as when we get there, the body's on your property, we're good.
Yeah, I don't live in Michigan, so I don't have to deal with that one. Pennsylvania has a pretty solid castle doctrine, stand your ground for it. But I can, attest. Although the last time I was shooting in Texas, I went wild boar hunting. Most bizarre thing ever.
Oh man, it's necessary though. They will tear up your property. They will hurt your animals. They will.
It was.
We used to go wild boar hunt when I was a kid, because a lot of what happened was we had a bunch of doctors by like country, like farmland, and they found out they had like goats and sheep and all this kind of stuff, or whatever out there, and these wild boars just come through, tear up the fence, and then come in, and they would go after the animals. And so we go out there and do wild boar hunting. That's probably one of the craziest things you could ever do is go wild boar hunting. There's some scary creatures.
Yeah, so when I went, it was a friend of my other half's. It was another Marine. His family had a large piece of property in Texas, and they, hunted wild boar because of their cattle and stuff. And so they were like, "Hey, do you want to come join us?" I was like, "Sure." And I was told no more wild boar no more wild boar hunting for Loki.
What did you do?
I went hunting with a 50 caliber Macmillan rifle.
You got to make it fun. We went hunting with shotguns. We had buckshot, slug, buckshot. And
no, it's fun. Nobody's got to field dress that. Trust me. You good?
You don't want to field dress that meat anyway. It's bad. Oh God, talk about the toughest stuff you ever heard of.
Yeah, I went deer hunting in PA once, and I did it from the front porch of a cabin because I decided I wasn't going out into the woods. I think I was outside for like 14 minutes. Dropped the deer, was like, "Y'all can go get it. I'm going back to bed."
Nicely done.
Yeah, I'm good to about 1.5 miles.
I remember hearing you talk about that. That's amazing.
Yes, New Orleans, you drop them in the bayou. Yeah, there was a pet alligator named Cranky when I worked down there. And Cranky liked chicken nuggets and people. Hey, Florida Jeep girl. No, I'm not joking. My small person would feed it chicken nuggets. It several hundred. Yeah, it was an 8-foot long gator. Lived under my office. His name was
My
Cranky.
granddad was from a small town in Louisiana called Baptist. So I get you.
Yeah, I always die of laughter because have you ever seen that show, Swamp People?
Of course. Yeah.
So the boat captain on Swamp People, the two fishermen, they were
Mhm.
my employees when I worked in Louisiana.
Oh
That's
boy.
No, it's not. I literally felt like I was watching King. Like I felt like I was in King of the Hill. Stop standing outside the fence drinking beer. No.
That's Texas. Don't Louisiana my Texas. I love Louisiana. Don't get me wrong, but King of the Hill is like where I grew up.
Oh no, I know it is, but I'm just saying. Hey, Paul,
I know what you
okay,
mean.
have a good doctor. I was like, what are you doing? No. And then I had to explain to them that if I had to call OSHA and do a report because these idiots were trying to wrestle an alligator that they found on their lunch break, that was going to be the last thing they did.
I
Ever.
mean, you're interrupting the workout session.
No, they at lunch they found a baby gator and they're gator wrestling. I'm like, stop doing that while you're on the clock. No. I'm not filling out the workplace injury for this. Is OSHA. No.
Yeah, but it's Louisiana, so OSHA's gonna be like, there's got to be at least one gator tag. Is there a gator
There
tag?
is
Yeah,
not.
there is. Yeah, that makes sense.
There's no gator rules in Louisiana. I looked. Don't worry. So what are you people doing?
Wow.
Yeah, like they would
My
do
dad-
random. They were the dumbest. Ugh.
Speaking of King of the Hill, my dad used to work with a guy that spoke like Boomhauer.
Yeah, I gotta say, I had several interesting days on like at my job there. One was we had a bunch of our employees were from South Africa and had very heavy accents but spoke English.
Oh, nice.
And then I had my guys from Terrebonne Parish, my swamp guys, my swamp people
Down
from
on the
Terrebonne.
bayou. Yeah.
Down from the bow. Yep. And they would sit there talking to okay, I'll see you, Florida. I'll catch you later. They would sit there and talk to each other, and I would have to sit there and translate English to English.
Yeah.
Because they were
Yep.
all speaking English, but no one got anyone's accent. Yep. Oops. There was a lot of me standing there just going, what are you people doing? No. There's a reason they called me the cranky Yankee. And the only thing worse than that was the day that somebody got the brilliant idea, and Patty and Croc both know what I'm about to say, to fucking announce to 80,000 subscribers to harass me about bees and fish.
You don't have to explain that one.
Patty.
Oh, I think you should explain this yourself because, yeah.
Bees
Yeah.
and fish.
TLDW. Bees are
Yeah.
classified as fish to the state of California.
Why does that not surprise me at all?
No.
Yeah. So essentially
Because
what
it's probably-
happened... Yeah, so under the Environmental Protection and Endangered Species and all of these
Endangered
things,
species,
some dumb shit got got fish classified as bees. Bees
It's the other way
classified as fish. And I don't even care. And a lawyer on YouTube told everybody to come harass me at work about fish bees
About fish bees.
to their 80,000 subscribers at the time.
That is hilarious.
It's not. They almost
Oh.
died.
No, it was not hilarious.
I mean, it's
Mhm.
hilarious that fish were classified as bees. That's
I
what
mean,
meant. So not that they were harassing you
Bees were technically fish, is what it was. But
or
you
whatever.
would've-
Yeah, that.
You would have
that
known
makes-
all about it because my ass would have been in Austin, Texas, beheading said lawyer. If I could have been.
Oh, do I? I think I know who this is.
Yeah, we're
Um,
talking
civil
about
law.
Curtino,
Yeah,
aka
uncivil law. Yep, I know. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Mister, I can't make it through a live stream without stumbling my words because of reasons. Yep. No, I know uncivil law. I've talked to him a couple times.
Don't. Oh, by the
Oh, I
by
wasn't. Oh, go ahead,
by the
sir.
way, guys, he had a date the other night.
Yeah, what?
Oh,
he got a
real
date.
date.
A
Real
real
date?
date. Yeah.
That boy. I mean, after everything that he got clipped saying about women, that's kind of funny.
Oh.
I was there for that. I was there when that got released because I was in another community before this. Because when I started on YouTube, it was in the Flat Earth debunking community before you go to like the Solipsists and the Moors and the First Amendment guys, right? And one of the guys that I used to talk to all the time was Nate the lawyer.
Ah, yes.
And
The lovely
so I know
Nate.
Nate. I know Nate from years ago, right? And of course, Nate and Uncivil, and then you have like Emily Baker and them too, right? And I remember the time that someone decided to clip together everything that Uncivil had said later on in his streams about females because he couldn't get a date.
It was one of his
It
former
was,
mods.
yeah, it was, and it was, well, it was funny and sad at the same instance. But I'm kind of a dick, so I thought it was hilarious. I mean, don't get why. I don't understand why people say stupid shit like that on live streams. Like I've been on live streams, I've been intoxicated on live streams. I've never said anything stupid like that on live stream. And because I still have the wherewithal that this is on the internet forever.
How do I? There we go.
Oh, okay.
I can't figure out how to put it up on a screen. I can't figure out how to put it up on a screen, but I would if I could. But yes, I was done with that one. But yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Hold up.
Oh, hold up. Wait a minute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Yep. Oh, by the way, guys, I'd like to point out one thing, and I swear I've heard this like at least 47 times, several times on Wrangler and various other people's channels. Look, if I hear the statement about being within 21 feet of people justifying lethal force one more time, I'm going to A, scream, and B, it is called the Tuller drill. It is a very specific thing. It is called the Tuller, T-U-L-L-E-R, is the Tuller drill. And yes, it is used. But do not take that as canon because no, it is not a law. It is affirmative defense.
Right.
Not a law.
Well, and that's one thing that cracks me up about listening to some of these frauditors chat about things like, having to stay in, like, was it Pennsylvania v. Mims, right? And I was listening to something today where it was one of the frauditors. This is the one where there was a video and they were filming each other talking about it, and then this old dude hit somebody else's car, right? I don't know if it was on Wrangler's channel or somebody else's channel, but they were like talking about how one guy, the trooper told his passenger to stay in the car, and he goes, but based on Pennsylvania v. Mims, that only affects the driver. Yeah, no, you're right on that aspect. It affects the driver, but there's also this other one. I think it was California v. Mann or something. That was a Supreme Court thing that says that all passengers in the car during a car stop are being detained. It doesn't matter if you're the driver or not. And if the officer tells you to either stay in the car or get out, he has the authority to do that with the passengers. And so they crack me up on how much they don't know about the law.
Well, I'm actually looking. I'm scrolling down because I know I had it saved.
I could be wrong. I can't remember. I thought it was California versus somebody.
No, it's MIM. Pennsylvania Mims.
Oh, Pennsylvania Mims says that a cop can pull the driver out of the car during any traffic stop. Yeah. Yep.
Right. But so I've been looking at a bunch of the Second Amendment auditor stuff and covering it.
Those are a little bit different.
Oh, did you not see my one? Scotto, my love. Did you not see the one where I took the Second Amendment auditor who got the brilliant idea to take a gun to the airport?
Oh God! Why?
Yep. We did that one. Patty and Croc laughed at me. I was not happy.
Mercy. It's like those guys that you remember those guys that got pulled over or whatever, like soft sits or whatever, got pulled over, decided to walk into the police station like fully decked out, like AR-15, everything, right?
Yeah, I don't advise it.
Then they were surprised when like 10 cops came out with their guns drawn.
Yeah, I mean, there's one that I'm gonna do a video where the 2A auditor is pulled over and he was wearing, for I have no idea why, a Molly vest, which is and he's got a pistol at his chest. Like, what would be in between my boobs is where he has this fucking thing holstered.
Yeah.
And he wants to know why The cop walks up to the window on the traffic stop. He doesn't get the nicest response.
Yeah.
Like, dude, sir, we need to talk about this. This is not going to end well, okay?
Stop
We're
making the
not
rest of us
gonna
look
do
bad,
this.
please God.
What we're not doing is this, okay? Don't take guns into airports and try to get them through security, okay? We had an entire video on that where I lost my shit.
Well, and one of the things, like, because I conceal carry all the time, right? And of course, in Texas, like, you know, concealed carry is constitutional, open carry is constitutional. I don't advise open carry. That's my personal opinion. That's not my gig, right? Because I think it's kind of dumb. I think it's kind of dumb to open carry because if you
Well, I
are in a
can tell you,
situation, good.
the slogan on this channel is "You are open carrying. You are my first target."
No, that's exactly what it is, right? That's exactly. So if you're in a gas station or a store, because in Texas there are a ton of places, right, that say, you know, we are 100% Second Amendment. Please God, come in. But if you do and something happens, you need to act, right? And that was one thing I did like about when I got my concealed carry permit, because part of the getting that permit was that if you're in a situation, you have an obligation, right? Because you wanted this concealed carry permit to act, right? And
no, there's technically no legal obligation. It's moral.
well, I understand, but it was a moral, which I like that aspect. Like, I thought it was a good idea, right? Unless you got your kid in there, right? You got your little one in there, and you want to take care of your little one first, and then come back later, or get them out first. I get that, but because that's what would be my first thing, is taking care of my own, right? And safely. And but yeah, no, this aspect where people walk into places, because literally, if I want to be a bad guy coming in and shoot up the place, the first people I want to hurt are the threats that I see, and those threats are going to be the guns I see. And so if you're carrying a gun and open carry, yeah, you're right, number one target.
Yeah, I'm probably the last person people generally target for things like that. There was one stream I did have up for a little bit that we showed that I have a micro person that can disarm me.
Oh, nice. Well, you got to train them young. I'm going to
They know
start training
how
my
to.
niece and nephew.
They know how to disarm an adult. Mayor Wrench, it's a carry. Are you doing outside the waistband, inside the waistband? Are you trying to carry appendix, small of the bag? Like, it depends on what you're carrying or where. Sometimes I carry with a shoulder holster. I am not a very large.
Comfortable with.
I am not a very large person. I'm very tall.
Shocker.
Oh, I think I'm probably taller than you realize.
Oh no, I know you're tall. I mean, when you said you're not a very large person.
Oh yeah, no, no, I'm not fat. I'm sorry.
You're like what? Didn't you say one time, like, aren't you like 6 foot or?
Yeah, I'm almost 6 feet tall. Yeah.
Yeah.
And 132 pounds.
Oh wow.
Tall and slim.
But I can still conceal carry 2 full-size pistols, various spare magazines, a knife, and a cell phone.
So my question is, I understand that, like, if you wear bulkier clothes and all that kind of stuff,
I don't.
Being your frame that you are, that's what I'm saying. Like, how do you conceal
bulky
it? I mean,
clothes?
You conceal it.
No. Everybody who's here on the channel who knows, ask Patty. I Croc and Patty, did I not one day show up in yoga pants and a t-shirt and pull out 2 full-size pistols?
Yeah, and then start pulling weapons out.
I ain't gonna lie. I'd like
yoga
to see
pants.
That,
I found you a present, Loki.
What? Oh God!
I found you a video.
Oh, you found it. You found it. Okay.
I found
Patty,
it.
Go ahead. Okay, make it full screen and go ahead and play it. Let's see. We get to hear about this date.
Thus, the misunderstanding occurred.
It starts in about 3 seconds.
I'm gonna start twitching.
Language Needed by Uncivil, a deep dive discussion.
Oh, Kurt.
Patty.
Awkward silence, of course.
So awkward.
Ruby is a very good attorney, of course, as I'm sure we all well know. Thrive for a second date, but I thought it went well.
Oh,
So,
let me back it up. There we go.
Oh, wait, here we go.
Language and You by Uncivil, a deep dive discussion.
What about Twitch? Are you Twitch coming?
Ruby is a very good attorney, of course, as I'm sure we all well know. Thriving in Dallas these days. I'm very happy to see that she's doing so well. Hold for a moment.
Here, we're going to get to it.
And I actually have a comment on what he just said there about Rubia.
But it's all right. I've already been called a rhino a couple times.
Just a couple?
So, anyway.
I mean, you're living in Austin. I'm just saying.
And he's living there on purpose.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm in relatively positive spirits today. I had a nice date last night.
Oh God, that poor
I don't know
woman.
if she's interested in seeing me for a second date, but I thought it went well. So, you know.
I love this statement.
We'll see.
Is it me
We
or
got to get to the good part.
Hold on.
The best part's coming up.
Yeah, hold on.
Ask her,
does
I did kind of
is
ask her,
Cortina going gray?
would you like a second date? Her answer was less than encouraging. But we'll try.
Okay, I'm sorry. I gotta say this. I went on a date. It seemed to go really well. I'm hopeful for a second date. Did you ask her? Yeah, when I asked her, her answer was less than encouraging. Now, what part of hopeful is that, motherfucker?
I mean, honestly, the truth is it's either yes or no, right?
I just
Not
want
like,
to
you
know
know.
how you can say I'm hopeful. It seemed to have gotten well. Did you ask her for about a second date? Yup. And it didn't go well. What the fuck?
I
Read
don't
the
know how
room,
some-
dude. Read the room.
Yeah, I don't know how some people date, but like usually I know we're going to go on a second date by the end of the first. I think it's just maybe it's just a thing.
Okay, well, this is also coming from the person who announced that he hired people to run his dating profiles on social media and still couldn't get a date.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Mm-hmm.
Are you serious?
Yeah. He did say that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he-
Yeah, that was on a live stream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well. Okay.
Anubis, you're not wrong.
Nope.
That is wow.
Look, it takes a lot for me to be creeped out. When I met him in person, I was like, I'm not even telling you what hotel I'm fucking staying at now. No.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no. But to answer, hold on, I got to answer a question I got back here for a minute ago. Raven's question. So, Raven, you asked where I got my training. Raven, I have been shooting since I was 9. Originally, I was taught by my father and a Marine Corps sniper from Korea. And then I shot competitively. As I got a little bit better, a gentleman who goes by Odie, who you do not want to see in a back alley on a motorcycle, then worked with me on my shooting. And then once I hit a certain level of competition, went through Police Academy SWAT school, so I could be on ERT. I went through the Barrett Academy, and I went through something called Contoms. So I already had private shooting coaches. I was already shooting competitively by the time I took up the official title, and certification classes I did through Barrett at their facility. And then there's something called Contoms that I went through, which is, the counter operations, narcotics, and tactical. So, yeah. Then I went to competing at distances over a mile, and that's when I moved up in caliber.
Nice. I think the biggest handgun I've ever shot was correct me if I'm wrong, because this was like 15, 20 years ago, was a 460.
Okay, why? What kind of 460? Depends.
It was
Yes,
a six
yes,
shooter,
Mayor.
and the bullets
Yes,
were like the
yes,
size of
Mayor.
a shotgun shell.
I mean, it's still smaller than my 50, but between the 50 and the 44 mag. But
Pretty good kit.
yeah. Although I love this one. Yes, thank you, Mayor. You are correct, sir. You are correct.
Yeah, no, true. I remember you talking about the Max magazine. Yep.
Always fun. Oh, everyone's always like, "Do you need security?" No, I'm good. No. No. Here's the thing, and I have this discussion all the time when it comes to things like caliber and guns. I was 20. Yeah, I was 20 when it happened. And I was at the range shooting. My dad was the range master for the day. And he was sitting there. Patty Odie was there. They were sitting there watching the 6 lanes, and this gun club has, it's concrete, like a concrete block building, only has 6 lanes. And I had the Desert Eagle out, and I told the guy that was at the lane next to me, I'm like, do you want to switch lanes? Because you're going to take the hot brass. Just how it ejects and where I'm,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You're going to, so I'll
And you don't
switch
want that
lanes.
going down the back of your shirt. It's not fun.
It's less fun to go down your cleavage, trust me. I got a scar from when I got stuck right between the boobs.
I'll give you that. 100%.
I was not happy that day. Stuck on my throat. I was mad. But
you don't want to go down your pants. Like if you're wearing shorts one day because you're dumb. Go ahead, sorry.
But, I was like, whatever. So I was like, guy, do you want to switch? He was like, no. Okay. I fire off the first round, and oh my God, I thought I was going to hit the deck. And he's looking at me like, what? The hell is that? A gun. Can I shoot it?
No.
Sure. Have you ever shot anything bigger than what you got right there? And then he said the phrase that I never thought I would hear in real life from a white man. I can shoot a gat. Sir, I do not give a flying fuck about your 9mm Glock.
Right.
Not in this house. We do not like the guns that Tupperware built. Not in this house, my darling. And he insisted he would be fine, and my exact answer was, fine, I will put 1 bullet in, I will rack it. All you're going to have to do, I will take the safety off, is pull the trigger. Sir, what you need to understand is I'm going to need you to take a firm stance. I personally suggest a Weaver stance for you. And he looked at me and said, don't tell me what to do. I'm the man. By sod, looked at me and said, don't tell me what to do. I know what to do. And he thought he could be me and picked it up one-handed and tried to fire off a round and knocked his ass out cold when the recoil cracked him right in the middle of the forehead with the ass end of the gun.
Yep.
Knocked him out cold. We had to call an ambulance.
Good God. He kind of reminds me of the guy that said you got full semi-auto.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, he needed an ambulance. He had a C-shaped hairline skull fracture in the middle of his forehead and needed stitches.
Good God.
And then he had a set of balls to show back up to pick his guns and stuff up because they had been secured in a safe there at the gun club. I'd have sent anybody else. I would not have shown my face again. Because when your answer is, well, you're little and you can shoot it, so can I. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I can shoulder a bear at 50 and fire off a couple rounds. I do not have confidence in most grown men being able to do the same. It is more technique than it is just size.
100% it is technique. And that's why there's 2 things I love, shooting guns and jiu-jitsu, because it's all about technique.
I do not do jiu-jitsu. I do Krav.
Okay, so I actually trained under an instructor that went to Israel, and so I trained. It's called Krav Panim Al Panim, which is where they get Krav Maga from, right? And it just means like hand to hand, right? In Hebrew, but that's where they derived Krav Maga from. It was based on it's a version based on Krav, and this is what they teach, like Israeli, security forces and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, no, 100%. It's good. It's good stuff. I think everyone, especially women, need to do something of that nature, at least like jujitsu or something of that nature. I think it's just very, very important.
Yeah, I mean, I have a video about, carjackings and why I carry and, all of that
Oh, yeah.
fun stuff. My little one will tell you she knows where to stand. She doesn't stand on the same side where I carry. She doesn't, she knows if I draw, she'll stand right behind my hip. She knows exactly what to do. She can
People ask
disarm
me all
you.
the time. Yeah, people ask me all the time. They're like, "Why do you think women need to do jujitsu?" And one of the things I say when it comes to self-defense, for those that don't realize, if you haven't, or maybe you've like heard of jujitsu and you don't really know, what it
Hold on 1 second.
does.
Good night,
Okay.
Cynthia, my darling. I'll catch you next time.
But then
Okay.
that's the same little girl that at 3 with a Nerf gun knew how to clear a room.
Yes.
Oh hell yeah!
Checking her corners, the whole bit. I saw pictures.
She was very cute in her footy pajamas at 3, shouldering a Nerf gun, room clearing.
That's awesome.
But so you were saying about jujitsu?
Oh, well, because one thing it does is that it makes you comfortable in what normally would be in uncomfortable positions, right? So a lot of times for women, because I did like some help, like in this aspect of understanding jujitsu and being able to use like the physics of jujitsu to throw someone who's larger than you and all this kind of stuff. But what it also teaches you is that when you're on the ground, like on your back, and someone's on top of you, which is normally a super volatile position for a woman, right? Especially if it's a male attacker, it teaches you how to be comfortable being on your back, and also if someone comes up behind you, right? So one of the people I got a pleasure to train with one time when I was in Atlanta, Georgia, was Carlos Machado, right? And for men or women, either for both of them, but especially for like women who want to have like good self-protection, and if you don't like you choose not to carry a gun or whatever, and someone physically like attacks you or tries to like overpower you, jujitsu and Krav Maga are some of the best things you can learn, because it'll put you in uncomfortable positions and teach you how to be comfortable in those positions so you don't freak out, right? Because freaking out is probably the worst thing to happen. Like any normal person gets into a fight or they get punched or whatever, they freak out. If you have training, your training kicks in and it takes over the fear and the craziness happening, and you go into a mode, right? That's a good mode to get into if someone has you in an uncomfortable position, a normally uncomfortable position, in my opinion.
I mean, I have seen a picture of you, but I'm not sure how big of a person you are. Other than the Instagram headshot. I said, I'm not exactly sure how big of a person you are other than your Instagram headshot.
Oh, yeah. So I am, I'm about 5'8", but I'm right around 240. And so I was in the military for the last 21 years. I love working out and all this kind of stuff. And so I'm really dense. So I have really broad shoulders.
What branch?
I was in the Navy. I was a linguist in the Navy for 21 years.
See, I actually missed that test by a whole point.
The ASVAB or the D-Lab?
The D-Lab.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I picked up a couple languages and bounced around from Texas to Georgia to Maryland to California a couple times, and yeah. And then I retired June 30th of this year.
Nice.
Very cool. I speak a few languages.
Which languages do you speak?
What?
I said, which languages do you speak?
English, Hebrew, French, Arabic, Hungarian, and Czech.
Which kind of Arabic?
Pashto.
Okay, nice. All right.
And I can understand Urdu.
Okay, good. Yeah, I do. My main two were Spanish and Dari, but I can understand most of the Romance languages. And Farsi. I spoke Farsi, but I can understand Dari, right?
Farsi is more Pakistani.
Right, and so like they're so close to each other, right? But
yeah, I have citizenship with Israel, so.
Oh, nice. So does my sensei. The one that taught me, the one I was telling you about with Krop Anim, she has dual citizenship with Israel. Talk about a badass. Like, she's amazing.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, no, I've told the story many times. I wanted to be in the Navy. I applied to the Naval Academy
Oh no!
And
By the way, Happy New Year! I didn't get.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And when I went to my final thing, I was found out very quickly that due to my father's job with the Navy and with the military, I was a security risk and not allowed to be in the military. So
Really? What did your father do?
my father is the person that holds the patent and designed the controls and instrumentation for the Westinghouse water-cooled nuclear reactor systems that run all of the carriers and the submarines.
I was actually on one carrier and 2 submarines, so I learned very thoroughly about their systems.
Yes, my father put them into commission with Admiral Rickover.
Actually,
They do 3 different rates on all of which are required to operate a nuclear reactor, and they do that for a purpose. No one person knows enough to hijack it to put it all together and work it.
Except me, who has the picture of the damn patent on the wall above me in my office.
Actually, I have my Dolphins. Which is a submarine warfare qualification.
I'm very aware of what the Dolphins are. My other half has Dolphins. He did 6 years in the Navy before he was a Marine.
Nice.
What boat did you get to go play on?
Oh, I was on 2 different boats. I was on the Topeka and what was the other one I was on? It slipped my mind because I was kind of looking at something right fast. Because I still had the covers from it. It was the Asheville. That's right. The Topeka and the Asheville. But I got my Dolphins on the Topeka.
It's Cleveland class light cruiser.
Yeah, they were. So I was on what they call like the small boys when it comes to subs, right? And they are the sub hunters, right? They had I slept in the torpedo bay, so I slept next to like actual torpedoes, and it was a ton of fun.
Yeah, they're interesting. They are interesting. Like I
tell
said,
you
I'm
what,
damn.
if you're a guy going on one of those like fast attack submarines, like you get real comfortable with your sexuality real quick.
I mean, you can go ask my other half because he was on the Albuquerque, which is a nuclear fast attack.
Oh yeah. That's actually
Papa, Papa, I am not going to argue with some Moorish moron in Farsi. We have talked about this, Papa. I love you because you're my Papa. But no, Papa, no.
Papa's starting stuff again.
Papa, me.
Medyo not be Farsi harp isn't it?
Hey, at least Papa didn't just tell him to call him a squid. It's fine.
Bubblehead.
Mother half told
yeah, my brother-in-law was a squid.
Someone the other day said something to him, and they asked why he was dumb enough to get on a submarine. He said he was hydrophobic, claustrophobic, and afraid of the dark, and he figured he'd get rid of all 3 at the same time. Like, you're an asshole.
You'd be surprised how many people who are actually claustrophobic are on subs. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, lots of them. Yeah, lots of them. We had with the decommissioning to the Albuquerque, we held one of the final reunions. Oh my God, the absolute debauchery that was involved. I'm sorry to anybody here who's not familiar with submarines. The movie Down Periscope is the most accurate submarine movie you'll ever see.
I love it. Kelsey Grammer did a great job in that movie. I loved it.
Yeah, well, Kelsey Grammer can do things that aren't supposedly funny.
Amazingly enough, he is quite hilarious. Yeah.
I've never seen it.
I'm not a huge fan of his anymore. A little liberal for me.
Really?
Yeah. We're a little woke these days.
Yeah, I did my time in the Navy as well.
In the Navy. Sorry.
Although I spent a lot of that time groundside. Because, yeah.
What was your rate?
I joined as an ET. I didn't end that way. I won't get into the details.
I was a CTI.
Yes. What?
CTI.
I was a CTI. Yeah, cryptologic, technician, interpretive.
Yeah, no, I was. I joined to be an ET, and I wound up doing something completely different.
Yes, the USS Rust-Oleum. Although, you know what I do think is hysterical? So Pittsburgh, if you ever go to come to Pittsburgh, anybody, docked outside of Pittsburgh's Science Center is the USS Requiem.
Okay.
They have an old decommissioned submarine. You get to go on it and walk around.
Yeah.
They made it into an escape room.
Oh God.
Nice.
They have a submarine escape room on it now.
That is so cool.
Nice. I have to go. I have to see that now.
Mm-hmm. I was like, what? Yeah, I didn't get on it because I don't like to have to duck. It's a little boat.
Well,
There's a lot of
So
ducking.
the funny thing is, my buddy who I got my dolphins with, right, who was on the sub with me, is like he was like 6'3",
Damn.
6'2" or 6'3", right? And we were all bunking. We had to there's a thing called hot racking on sub.
Oh, I
And-
know all about hot racking.
Yeah, you do. So for people
So
that
do
don't know,
I.
so people that don't know, hot racking is because there's not enough beds for everybody. And like my job, when I work intel, that's what I did. I worked intel for the Navy and some other agencies. And so when you get on a sub, there's not enough racks. Racks meaning like beds for everybody, right? And so you have to do what they call hot racking, which is you share a bed with up to 3 to 4 other people, depending on your work schedule, all this kind of stuff. And so he and I got lucky because we were both birds down in Torpedo Bay, but we didn't share the same rack, so we could work on our qualifications together. This motherfucker would hit his head on the same damn lamp or light, like the overhead light, every time we got back in Torpedo Bay. Without fail, he would hit his head. I'm like, Bubba, you know it's here. It's been here the entire time we've been on the submarine. Stop hitting your head on it because you look like an idiot. And he's like, oh, I'm trying, man. And we ended up both getting our dolphins, but it was just so funny because he was so tall. And like hell, one of my cops, chief of the boat that was on there, was like 6'8", and he just hunched over all the time whenever he walked in. He was not a small man. He was not Loki being 6 foot and 100 whatever like low pounds. He was 6'8" and like 300 pounds. It's amazing the man could even walk around on a damn sub.
I'm surprised they let him on board in the first place. Guy's massive.
Oh, well, no. I mean, you got to remember. So my dad was on all of the subs that have the nuclear reactors because he put them all into commission.
Right.
He was there for the startup and the initial run out to test depth and stuff with them. And my dad was 6'6". Hey, Kenosha. My dad was 6'6". So,
Weird
you know.
question. How tall is your mom?
My mom, 5'8".
Yeah. Okay, I can see
5'8".
that. That works.
But my dad's 6'6". He was 6'6". My brother's 6'9". My uncle's 7'2", and my cousin's 6'11".
I got a friend right now who's like one of my best friends, and she's a Navy chief, right? And she's like 6'1", I think, and she was like the tallest woman I'd ever met my entire life, right? Until I went to Guantanamo Bay and met an Army sergeant who was 6'4".
I mean, I am notorious for walking around in like 4 and 5 inch heels. So
Yeah, but she was 6'4" in like Army combat boots.
yeah, so I am very, I tend to be, tall, but I mean, I have my brother at 6'9", my uncle's 7'2", my cousin's 6'11".
Yeah, it's like
there's a whole bunch of us.
Get it.
No, there's a whole bunch of us standing around. Everyone's like, y'all look like circus freaks. Jews aren't generally tall. Good night, Memento Mori. Yeah, we're generally not the tall people. So we tend to stick out. But no, my brother wanted to go to the Air Force and was told he was too tall for pretty much everything.
Well, who was it? The Admiral. Who was the guy that was a basketball player that got into the Naval Academy? He was like 7'2" or whatever.
Yep, he has to be on a surface ship.
Yeah, he did. He was a SWO, and I can't remember his name, but they called him the Admiral because he had gone to the Naval Academy and then of course went pro ball. And I cannot, if someone in the chat knows, I cannot remember his name, but it was hilarious because he couldn't fit. So he got lucky that they let him in because there is a height requirement.
Yeah, there's a height maximum. My brother was over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, my dad always just walked out and like dipped his head. But if you looked at my dad before he passed away, or if you look at my brother, they all have scars. My uncle, my cousin, mid-forehead from smacking their head off things.
Yep.
Y'all are done. He was the center for the San Antonio Spurs, according to Papa.
He was, and I cannot remember his name.
That's what Google's for.
I know.
Oh, my Lord. But I am going to call this evening a lovely evening because I got an early appointment tomorrow. Guys, what do we want to do this week?
Well, tomorrow is supposed to be game night, so
yes, tomorrow night we have game night. For the meeples, we have meeple game night. Navy Tex, have you been here for meeple? M-E-E-P. No. Meeple.
You say meeple?
Meeple.
Meeple, yeah.
Okay.
Long story. You'll have to join us for game night tomorrow.
Okay.
Game night on our night, Carl. So game night on this channel for anyone who has never been here for game night on my channel. We essentially decided to see how absolutely fucked in the head we can all be.
Yep.
So we play games like, Quiplash, where it will give you, survive the internet, all of that stuff. So it'll give you a prompt, and you have to come up with the most absurd jackass answer you can, and then everybody votes in this game, and people get points and all this stuff. And we like to absolutely roast people, usually ourselves and everybody we can find. We did have an anti-Jeremitha thing going one day.
I want to tell you one thing about Jeremiah. If meth had a spokesperson, the voice would sound like his.
I just think Cyrex is the poster child for it.
Oh God, Cyrex. So have you seen M Against the Press?
No, I try not to because I feel brain cells dying.
It is. But if you look at M Against the Press and then you look at Cyrex, it's like M Against the Press is. So if they tried to clone M Against the Press and messed up, it's Cyrex. Without the red hair.
I don't know. One of them one day decided to take to my emails on my channel and call me some nice things. And they said they thought I was a tranny.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Damn.
I am a tranny and I am fat and ugly. And it is a filter.
That is some incel beta stuff going on there. The beta is stronger than them.
That is playground quality bullshit.
I am quite comfortable in everything. And by the way, I do. Oh, good night, Sandy. If you're leaving me, I do have. It is getting ready. I gotta upload it tomorrow. I have the 1,000 subscriber video where y'all get to see Loki and fucking Daisy Dukes with a gun, dressed as a girl.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, yay.
There you
go. Great.
Like I haven't seen a bunch of my really tall girlfriends that are model weight cleaning guns before.
Do you if you saw some of the oh my God, there's like 2 or 3 people that are on this campaign for me to start an OnlyFans. I'm like, what are you all what in the name?
Have you ever seen that one chick who's like 7 foot, 7'1" that has the OnlyFans?
No.
Her mother's like 7'2" or whatever, and it's like this tall girl thing. Yeah. She's on YouTube.
No, they just want me to start an OnlyFans to clean guns while dressed sexy. And I'm like, no. No.
I mean, I don't kink shame, so.
Ben, my love, how are you, Ben? Ben, how is the family? How is everybody holding up? You're not late. We were wrapping up for that. You missed the phone. Ben, how are you guys holding up? Make sure you give the family love from the beasties. Yeah, I'm like, no, I'm not gonna have an OnlyFans, but thank you. Thank you for that request. It's not gonna happen.
Now you can have an OnlyFans that doesn't include anything crazy, because I think who is it? It's not Gina Carano. It's one of the other MMA female fighters that does an OnlyFans. That she just goes through like her workout routine or whatever. So there are options.
Okay, Ben. I'm glad that your son will be home this week. I mean, you know, we're all loving on you and we're all here for you. And I'm glad we could do what we could for you.
Oh, Ben, yeah. Is that the same Ben from Wrangler's chat?
Yeah.
Okay.
It-
Yep.
it's up to Ben if he'd like to share what happened, but
I know what happened. He was I think he
no, no, no,
vetoed out
no,
Wrangler's chat.
no. What our channel did?
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I
No,
can't see
so
the chat, so I'm just guessing.
oh no, that's fine. So for everybody that's new here, I don't think much of it are. We do something called the Beastie Fund. None of the super chats, Venmo, or PayPal money that I get on the channel goes to me. It all goes to something called the Beastie Fund. And anytime something like that happens or there's a problem, we make a donation to the charity of the person's choice
Oh, nice.
from the channel. And we also use the money to bless our beasties, because when I started my channel, there were some members talking about the fact that they were going to have to not pay for their medication to afford food, with everything, or
Yeah.
parents were going hungry so their kids didn't. So the Beastie Fund is completely anonymous. The only person who knows who gets the money out of it is me and the person who receives it, and the names are blacked out, but there's complete transparency that Patty and Croc can see the ledger. It's all accounted for, but all the money goes back to the Beasties and channel members or people in need. We don't.
I mean, you have to be transparent, because I've been a part of busting a bunch of like fraud raisers on YouTube, right? In my past, and you have to protect yourself when you're doing stuff like this. It sounds like you're doing an amazing job, and that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
And
you can ask Ben or anyone on the channel; they can all tell you. We keep a transparent, ledger in that regard.
And because there are so many people out there. I mean, it's just like the Nigerian email scheme and all this kind of stuff, right? People do this stuff on YouTube all the time. And so it sounds like you're doing an amazing job of what you're doing. Like, I commend you for doing that. That's amazing. And it sounds like you're doing a really great job of making sure that it's completely understood, where the money goes. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing channel related that the money is ever used for is if like someone wants me to buy something specific to, test out or review for the channel. But yeah, as Mayor Wrench, Ben, everything's above board. All of the like donation confirmations are posted publicly for the beasties to see. I always say that the money made off of the channel is, for the community, not for. I have no desire to make it my career. I have a big kid job.
There's so much crazy going on social media. There's so much negativity on social media. It's nice to see people doing, what we're meant to do is like do good to others, right? Like take the good that's done for you, the good you get in your life, and pay it forward, right? And because there's so much negativity on like Twitter, you look at Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, right? And so
Wrangler's
it's really nice
chat.
to hear that. Yeah. Yes,
Ben, I am glad that your son's children were happy with the donation to St. Jude's in honor of them. Oh, Mayor Wrench gifted 5 memberships. Nightman's wife, Michelle True, Carl's Order of the Squirrels, and Grandma Wolf. You all have gotten.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor.
That's 10 for the night for Mayor McNome.
Go, Mayor McNome. McNome is our man. Yeah, no, we had a discussion when my channel was small, and I always said I'd rather have 1,000 followers that are good in a good community than 100,000 followers and it'd be a shit show.
Yeah, no, 100%. And the problem is, you end up when you get to a certain level or whatever, in order to maintain it, you end up just like with anything else, like politics or whatever, right? You end up at one point in time, in order to maintain your current level of success or notoriety or fame or whatever you want to call it, right? Selling a piece of yourself, right, down the road.
No, you don't.
In order to maintain it.
That's not always true. And I make it a point.
No, not always true, but you know what I mean. Like the majority of the time.
I mean, a lot of people do, but I mean, I can tell you that on my channel, my people will tell you it may take me a week to get back to you, depending on how many emails or Instagram messages I have. But I personally answer things. There's plenty of people
That's
that have my
awesome.
phone number and can call me. And it was something that I learned to balance, when I was in Maxim. The amount of freaking, MySpace messages and shit I got from people.
MySpace, I love. Oh god.
Oh, yeah, it was back in the
MySpace.
MySpace days.
I haven't
But,
been on MySpace since I like early on in the military. Jesus.
But, I make it a point that I've always said I don't forget, who got me to where I am. I do not see, okay, great, everyone's on my channel. Cool, but I make it a point to be as reachable and, that it's a community. It's not a one-way thing. And, people in the chat can tell you, as much as like when I'm gone for a week or go missing because I'm in the hospital or something, if there's a regular member that we haven't seen in a while, I mean, I'm like Instagram messaging people, trying to find them, see what's wrong. We know if you're gone, but no, we play games, we have fun, we fuck around, we make fun of everybody. We
Well,
talk
that's
about
what
lots
it's
of
supposed to be, right?
guns, we review guns, we clean them.
It's
We have
supposed to be a
some.
fun place to go to get, because I think Wrangler said it tonight on his live, but the thing is, like, we all have real life drama and real life stuff we have to deal with all the time. And a lot of times coming to things like YouTube or whatever, whether it be, being graciously accepted upon a panel where people have never met me before, or just being in a live chat, like you're just looking to get away from the craziness of the day, right?
We always
And
make it a point to be open, and everybody's welcome here and to have fun. I have 3 rules for my channel. We do not go with hate speech. I don't
Gotcha.
tolerate it. We're not going with personal attacks. No hate speech. No personal attacks, and act like a fucking adult. That's my rules.
but you say act like an adult, but apparently a lot of adults don't know what that means.
Oh no, I can trust me. I have a child. The mom voice will come out.
So I call it my petty officer voice. Like when I was in the Navy, because I had to deal with guys who were my age or older doing some fuckity shit, and then I had to deal with the young bucks coming in thinking that they were, Gen Z, whatever, they could do whatever they wanted because no one told them they couldn't, right? And I do the same thing with my niece and nephew, and I love my niece and nephew to death. I spoil them to a point
It is simple, man.
where if you start fucking around, you're going to hear the authority come out.
Here's the problem with that. And that while I don't doubt that you're very good at it, I can tell you I have a Marine Corps drill instructor living under the same roof. And I can tell you my 6-year-old will pick up a chair, drag it over, climb up on the chair, and get back in his face when he's yelling. He will make grown men cry, and she will laugh at him.
Well, but the thing is, though, I think she also thinks she listens to him to an extent too. Like he has an ability to form her into, like, I'm guessing the level she's at now is because it's been something that's been done for a minute. And
no, she's just got my attitude problem. No, she's just got my attitude problem.
Well, and I'm actually dealing with that with my niece right now. She's got a little bit of an attitude problem, and I think a lot of it comes from what she's watching on fucking YouTube and things of that nature. And so, but I will do my best to correct it. Right? I mean, you can't be perfect. It's not gonna work every time, but there's an aspect of consistency. Consistency is the key, right?
Croc will tell you the absolute debauchery going on in this house some days. And we don't armbar our brother. We get off the back of the couch. Like, okay, here. What the fuck?
It's not lava, and that ottoman is too far away for you to jump from.
Yeah, we had that argument one day. Thought you was an American Ninja toddler.
Oh no, my nephew does the same shit. Like one day I was watching him. My nephew's like really intelligent for a 5-year-old, right? And so one day I saw him spider monkey up and down his like little play gym thing that they have, like the swings and stuff and a slide. And he's on top of it, and I looked at him and said, "Hey, Bubba." He looks at me, and I was like, you ain't supposed to be up there. Well, my dad said I could, and I'm like, I highly doubt he did. Get your butt down right now.
Okay. Oh no, mine decided to surf down my stairs, which are cathedral stairs. I have a cathedral entryway.
Oh yeah, like no, I get you.
Yeah, she stood in a laundry basket and surfed down the stairs.
I'm not gonna lie, I did the same thing with the box when I was a kid. So
yeah, she smacked her face off the slate flooring and busted her teeth.
Props to her for that. Yeah, she
didn't care. She will just look and just jump. She doesn't care. No, the fucker thing was, she, like I said on this channel, our gender neutral pronoun is fucker. and you can thank a small child for that because I got called to the school to deal with her because she got in trouble. There was a second grader that that was non-binary and wanted they them pronouns, and the child was very obviously female,
Right.
and she called her a girl, and then the girl cried and told her parents, who then wanted my child disciplined, and I said she's in kindergarten. You are lucky she's not talking in the third person or calling you it.
And you're lucky
She is 5.
Hand your ass here in a second.
She is 5. And there was some arguing amongst all the adults, and then all you heard was the little voice, and Patty knows exactly what got said because she died. Fine, I call you futter. What? Is the only word I know that works for a boy or a girl. If I'm yelling at a boy, I say, hey, come here, futter. And they come here. If I yell, girl, hey, futter, it works for both. Doesn't matter if you're a boy or you're a girl. So I call everybody that. So for the next 2 weeks, my child referred to everyone as fucker. That was everybody's pronoun.
You know, I mean, as a grown adult who is also helping, you know, to raise, you know, productive members of society, even though they're not, you know, my direct blood in that aspect, I do have a lot of now I'm smiling my ass off right now because that is fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah, she called everybody fucker for 2 weeks. Everybody.
She's gonna see. The thing is, like, your daughter, little one or whatever, is gonna
my daughter,
survive.
my micro, right? She's an asshole. Micro Loki's an asshole.
You know? But she's gonna survive in this world. The rest of those kids, like the fucking other one that she got in trouble for, you know, this, that, and third or whatever, right, is not gonna survive in this world.
And that's okay. One day she'll go on Croc stream. Watch her play a game. She got on Croc stream and all he's playing a video game and she goes, is that a boy or a girl? Because it looks like it has boobs. It was a guy with a white undershirt. And then the person had some like 90s Nirvana style going because they had a flannel shirt tied around their waist. And she kept asking if it was a skirt.
That was a male character.
Yeah, I know, but she thought it was a skirt and looked like the girl from Clueless.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, God.
And she kept telling the guy he needed a bra. It was a male character with pecs. I'm like, oh, God, babe. Princess? Princess, please stop calling everybody fucker. Sweetheart. Great. Yeah,
yeah, you shouldn't do this, but I'm proud of you for doing it. But I mean, it's a dichotomy of being a parent, right?
I as a parent, I'm thinking, no, you really shouldn't be saying that, kiddo. But at the same time, the back of my little brain's going, you know, she's not wrong.
Let me tell you a story. I got a story about my niece. My niece is.
What do you expect?
My niece is almost she'll be 10 coming up, right? And she is like, she's bigger than the rest of the kids in her class. Like, she just got these genetics, and she is in gymnastics. She's amazing. All this muscle, all this, you know, all this kind of stuff, right? And one day, a couple years ago, she got in trouble at school, right, because she kicked a boy. Okay.
She what?
Just hauled off and kicked a boy like in the shin. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make right?
Yeah.
And the problem was she has some you know, mental difficulties, so she can't really articulate herself the way she needs to, right? And so the teacher asked her, and she was like, God, scared because she's going to get in trouble and all that kind of stuff. And then finally, my dad got her home, her pops, or I got her home, and he looked at her and he said, "Baby," he goes, "Why did you kick that boy?" Right? Well, you're not in trouble. We just want to know what happened. It turns out that boy had been pulling her friend's hair, and she had enough of his shit and hauled off and kicked him in the fucking shin.
Oh yes, my little princess will pull a chair up and fist fight a 5th grader.
See, that's just it. He should be actually thankful that she didn't aim higher.
Right, but that's what mine did.
Go ahead, sorry.
Mine did that. She fought a 5th grader. She climbed up on a chair and dragged it over so she was face to face with a 5th grader, and she's in kindergarten, and got into an all-out fight like a spider monkey. I was trying to choke him out from behind.
What his family should be happy about is that her uncle at the time was still active duty Navy and not in the area.
Oh
Is what
yeah,
they should
no.
be happy about.
They should just be happy she was not around the micro Loki, because after the micro Loki tried to choke the fifth grader out and he managed to get her off, she took a running start, and I believe her exact words were, when I got there to break up the, to deal with it, because the principal called me. I said, "What did you do?" And she goes, "Well, he took me off the chair so I couldn't reach. So I runned up to him and I kicked him as hard as I could in the ding ding. So then when he bent down, I could punch him in the face."
Ugh.
There we go. Thanks, little girl. Square in
You
the
know what
nuts.
that's called?
You doubled over, and she came with an uppercut.
It's called situational awareness, and I love it.
Yeah, I love it too, except I've got to keep a straight face when I'm in front of a principal.
That principal, the old principal was a pain in the ass anyway.
Yeah, I know.
Why are we all that worried about that one? No.
No,
See,
I'm not.
I mean,
I'm not that worried. It's just like, what are you doing, princess?
So Micro Loki subscribes to the same school of combat that I do. If you're in a fair fight, your tactics suck.
well, like my daddy always told me one thing, right? He always instilled this principle in me when it comes to fighting others. He said, "Don't ever start a fight, but you better fucking end it," right?
Right, but unfortunately, in my house, the discussion was, Loki, from my father, "Loki, I swear to God, if you lead the hockey team in penalty minutes as the goalie again this year, I'm gonna beat your ass."
And then she promptly did such.
Yes, there's a reason that I had the nickname of Sexy Hexy after Ron Hextall all the way through college.
Well, there you go.
Because I fight. I got, I know where my little one gets it, and she sees, there is no fucks given by that little girl. The one, the one police officer, they were doing some little thing at school about, to the kids about like stranger danger. And what do you do? And, what do you do if there's a school shooter? All of that stuff.
Right.
And for the school shooter one, all the kids were like, "We go in the closet where the teacher..." My kid goes, I'm throwing a book. My mommy said never be fish in a barrel. If we all throw a book from different directions, they ain't gonna know which way to aim.
Nice.
She ain't wrong.
I like that.
I was told her. I said, because that's the problem. And I've had this argument with tactics. If you tell them all to go get in like the closet or into one place with the teacher, it is fish in a barrel. I don't care who you are. If you open a door and there's 30 little kids throwing books at you, you ain't. Hi, Scotto, my love. You're not gonna know which way to lob.
What you have to do is like remember 300, right? The idea with 300 was the aspect of tunneling the entire force into a smaller fucking position, like a smaller area where they became bottlenecked. And when you become bottlenecked, I don't care if you're a million fucking soldiers, you become bottlenecked. 300 guys can take
it's
you
a
out in
fatal
a
funnel.
heartbeat. Yeah.
It's the fatal funnel. But so I had that discussion, and then when they were having the stranger danger discussion, so what you do, and her exact words were that she was going to kick someone in the ding ding and then grab, twist, and pull.
Yikes!
I like that. That's good.
I'm like, okay, little girl. And someone was like, "I'm not getting in a fight with your kid." I'm like, "Have fun if you do." I'll tell you.
Oh,
She got
good note
temper.
on that for all the ladies in the chat. If a guy ever does come up behind you and grab you, right? I'm gonna give you one like real good piece of advice, and I'm sure Loki knows about this too. Is that if someone ever does come up from behind and grab you, take your foot and grind it down his shin.
Oh, we go with easier ways. We got easier ways with this channel.
I'm just saying, like if you're getting caught in that situation, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I just, I always joke. I always tell people like, "You're more than welcome to try and fight me. I don't care how much weight you think you have on me. I am the female on a SWAT team."
There's only a couple times in jiu-jitsu where, because I fought a lot of like skinnier guys, right? The guys are like 120, 115 or whatever. If they could lock in the hold, then I was fucked, right? But if they didn't lock it in, they were fucked because I am physically stronger than them. But it just depends on time. It depends on what happens. However, there are certain things, especially the one thing that women have when it comes to male attackers is this element of surprise. Because a lot of those guys that do that aren't real men, don't understand women, and they think women are just naturally weaker as far as intellectually, physically, and all this kind of stuff, right? And
Mhm.
it is a good thing to fall into for those attackers because they end up getting fucked up by women who know how to handle themselves.
Yeah, we've had this discussion. I'm not sure what the logic behind it is, but like we show up for SWAT shit, and you see the guy that we're dealing with, and he always looks at me and always picks the girl. Why? If you're faced with 12 people and one's a girl, I'm going through the girl. She's going to be the easy one. The reality is, if there's one female on a SWAT team, you should probably assume they're not going to be the easy one.
Well, don't get me wrong. There are notable the science has proven this, and we've all proven this time and time again that men and women are not equal, right? It's just not, right? We're not equal. We're not the same.
We are not physically the same, but there are plenty of females that have the exact same abilities.
Well, it depends because depends on what. I don't want to turn this into an aspect of like biology or whatever, right? But bone density is different between men and women. Does it mean that a woman can't fight a man? No. What it means is that there are differences, and you have to be able to capitalize on those differences in order to defend yourself.
Right, but it's not always about size or bone density. I mean, if you want to look at the realistic logistics of it, the reason that women are generally better snipers and things is we have better control of our autonomic nervous system and to control things. But the reality is, your center of gravity is at your shoulders. It isn't every man. Mine is at my waist. You're top heavy, and I guarantee I can get up under and toss you before you know what's going on.
It kind of depends because one thing that helped me out when I was in football, because I'm only 5'8", right, is that I have a really low center of gravity, and it would help me take out the guys who are like your husband's height and whatever is because
sweetheart, he's only 5'8".
Oh, sorry, I thought he was. Anyway.
My brother's 6'9".
So the thing is, like the one thing that your husband and I can both do, right? That guys who are taller than us can't do is we have a low fucking center of gravity, right? And if you're heavier like I am, you have a really amazing low center of gravity. Now I got blessed with genetics that gave me really wide shoulders, okay? And so that ability to get that low and then also come up at the same time gives me an amazing ability. Oh, and I'm talking about me against other men. In an aspect. So, I mean, against a taller woman like yourself, it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to see.
Well, I can hold my own against the ever lovely Ron Gronkowski in a football game. So,
the Gronk, yeah.
Gronk and I went to high school together.
Oh, that's amazing. He seems like such a nice guy. Is he a nice guy?
He is dumber than a box of rocks.
Well, I didn't say if he was smart. Is he a nice guy?
He is dumber than a box of rocks.
Gotcha.
That is literally. Everyone's like, what's he like? The first time I met him, he literally looked at me and looked at the coach, and went, "Gronk, no hit, girl."
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm. He talked like a caveman.
Wow.
And
I'll hit it, girl. Bring it on.
And the coach went, "Yeah, that." The coach went, "Yeah." The coach went, "That's not a girl. It's a guy with boobs."
There was a guy when I was in high school.
Thanks, coach.
There was a guy when I was in high school who was he was probably like 6'8", I think like 6'7", 6'8", right? And we were in, so for whatever reason he was in choir, and I don't know why. Like I played football too, and I was in choir, but he was in choir and all this kind of stuff, but he couldn't sing. And so one day he came to me and like we were like just fucking around or whatever. He's like, "Well, yeah, like you're like a smaller guy." I think I was like 100. I was like maybe 205, I think at the time. And he was like, "What are you going to do to me?" And I said, "Okay." I was like, "Come at me." So he comes at me. I grabbed his arm and then I grabbed his leg and I picked him up off the ground. I started shaking him back and forth, like just like a metronome, right? Just back and forth until he told me to put him down. And I was like, "That's what I can do because I have a low center of gravity. You don't."
Right, but see, there's things like, so one of the advantages that, people don't always take into account is I'm an extremely flexible person.
Okay, yeah, no,
So
100%.
things like jujitsu, you're not going to be able to, arm bar or put me into something that would be a traditional submission for anybody else. I will just pop my
Okay.
shoulders out and slide out. And it doesn't go well for most. No, Gronk, in all honesty, he's what you think he is. He's a kid
He's a
that
big dumb
moved
guy. Yeah.
to play football, and is very much just kind of one of the guys that sat there and snickered and giggled and talked to cheerleaders. But my graduating class, we had 2 kids that are in the NHL and 3 that made it to the NFL, and they're all pretty normal. I mean, Gronk comes back usually around the holidays. He'll come back to the Pittsburgh area and visit his family. But yeah, no, he's as dumb as you think he is.
Well, he did. So one thing I'll give him is that when Houston was hit by like the hurricane and all this kind of stuff, as far as I knew, because my dad went down there with the church group, right, to go help rebuild and stuff. He did a lot of good, and so for that aspect, like I give him props. I don't know if it was like a publicity
Nice,
stunt
Patty.
or whatever, but he did a lot of good and doing that stuff. And
No,
he
he's
seems
a
like
nice guy.
yeah, he's just dumb as a sack of shit. So
Yeah. Good night, Ben. Ben, come play games tomorrow night. We'll catch you over here tomorrow night. Tell the family hi and we love you all. Thoughts
hey
and love
Ben,
from
I
all
just
of
want
us.
to say right fast, like, we don't know each other, but I know your situation. Brother, you're in my prayers.
Yeah. I'm just happy we can make a difference.
That's amazing. And honestly, I tell you the truth, that's really what it is. That's what this is supposed to be about. Is have fun, like roast people, talk about news, talk about whatever. But there's nothing in the rule book that says you cannot be a good person on YouTube, right?
You can ask every one of my viewers. You can
And
ask
there's
Patty
nothing.
all the time that I've had to call her and say, Patty, this person's upset in the chat or is having things going on. Do me a favor. I need you to call them.
And I know I'm new to you guys, but I've been around YouTube for goddamn almost 5 years right now. Like being on like live streams and doing stuff. Like I've been around for a minute, and that's the reason why I talked about the reason I said earlier is like there's an aspect where I've watched YouTubers get they were like cool people in the beginning, but then they started getting like they go to like 60,000 subs, 70,000 subs, 300,000 subs. They change, right? And it's nice to see that there are still people out there like yourself in this group here, like your lair, that are actually doing good for others because it's needed. It's what this was originally meant to be.
Yeah, and that's why I always tell everybody, everybody's welcome here in the lair. I always tell people, we're always very transparent. Everybody's welcome here in the lair. I don't have a tolerance for people that are acting up. But we have fun and we fuck around, we make fun of people, we roast things. But when push comes to shove, I mean, we've had people call and say, like, I'm having a crisis, and I guarantee you'll have 10 people calling you.
Yeah.
People will email you. People will check in on you. I can tell you who people's kids' names. I mean, we are, and I think, you see when people get to like a certain size, it kind of gets to them. And it can't to people. But in all honesty, I got that bubble burst a long time ago, like when I was in Maxim and stuff. Because I guarantee more people have seen me in my underwear in Maxim than on any 5 channels combined at this point in this general community.
The thing is, and this is for anybody that wants to, like I said, I've been around a bunch of YouTubers. I've seen guys that are, million sub channels. I've been with guys who are, 1,000 sub channel, right? There's an aspect about maintaining your tether to the real world. Okay. Because YouTube is not the real world. Now you can get some real world stuff from YouTube and Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah, but y'all got to go touch grass.
You have to. Well, and it doesn't mean that the people you meet in Discord or YouTube are not real friends, right? Because here's the thing: when I was a kid, and I'm like, I don't know how old everyone is here, right? So I'm old enough that we had things called pen pals, right? You never met this motherfucker. It could be somebody in another
Aw.
country, right? Or somebody in another state.
Thank you, V. That's very sweet of you.
And like I said, like Loki, I have no idea how old you are, but the
38.
thing is, okay, so I'm 41. And so when I was a kid, we had pen pals. Like this was a thing. And it's kind of
Yeah.
so Discord is kind of like the pen pal of the fucking 80s and 90s, right? And you never met this person, but you became friends. You would, like talk to each other all on the regular and all this kind of stuff. So this stuff can happen, right? But there's a lot of people out there because of the fact of the ability of the community to come together that are just horrible trash people. So but it's nice to see what you're doing. Like I really appreciate seeing that because, like I said, I've gone through and busted a bunch of fraud raisers, like people who would fake homelessness, people who would fake cancer, loss of a child, things like that. Like the most despicable shit you can imagine to get
Yeah,
we don't-
money.
We don't tolerate that here.
Your PayPal information in, or other donation things. That was on civil law.
Yeah,
Say
he
again, sorry.
uncivil law capitalized on my cancer to make money for himself.
Are you fucking serious? Oh Jesus!
I'll leave it up to Croc and Patty to fill you in on that one because I get mad.
Oh yeah, it was a lovely stream. He was encouraging people to send the money through PayPal instead of the designated link.
His cancer fundraiser, he had a banner going across the bottom of the whole time.
Yeah. He was grifting for you to send the money through PayPal or Venmo, and if you didn't feel comfortable using the link, and yeah.
Well, it said any money that comes through PayPal or Venmo goes direct to me. If you want to donate to the charity, you have to do it through the link.
Yep.
And he had big channels and everybody on his channel.
So
that's the day I quit watching.
One of the things that people had issues with, do you mind me talking about some of the drama that's been happening recently? Or do
You are
want
welcome to talk to whatever you'd like. You're welcome.
So some of the issues that were brought up on, I'm not gonna like pussyfoot around it.
We don't mince words here. You're good.
All right, good deal. So one of the biggest things that was brought up on Frauder Trolls, like aspect of having Frauder Wrangler on, was this aspect with Blackheart Knight when his
with the house
apartment
fire.
house or whatever had house fire, right? So the thing that gets me is because I've been around fraud raisers for years. I know how people operate that run fraudulent, fundraisers. I've watched what they do. I have listened to how they try to placate themselves and how they try to explain things away, right? I actually there was a guy one time who, because the channel I was working with at the time exposed him as being a fraud raiser because it turned out that he was not homeless. It turned out that he did not need this money to get out of his current apartment because of a bad landlord and all this kind of stuff. Because he was getting exposed, he said, I had to keep the lie up because you were exposing me, right? And so the thing that I have issue with when it comes to like what happened with Blackheart Knight, the first thing is this: Wrangler put up Blackheart Knight's PayPal or whatever, right? And it didn't work. Okay, so any normal person who hasn't been around YouTube very long is like, "Well, just send it to me. I'll send it to him," right? That's a natural response that people do. Okay, please, before anyone who's listening, before you even do that, don't do that. Don't ever do that, right? Because you'll get yourself so much scrutiny if something happens and it doesn't get paid out the way it's supposed to in this and third. So the explanation that Wrangler gave about why he didn't automatically send it to Blackheart Knight kind of made sense. Like it made sense in the fact that he's new to YouTube, he's new to all this kind of stuff. I don't know about the driver's license thing because I'm not monetized on YouTube and all this kind of stuff, but it kind of made sense that there was.
Hold on one second. Croc, it says your devices aren't connected. Okay, you can continue.
And so it kind of makes sense, right? And then now, if Wrangler had been somebody who had been doing this for a long time, like he'd done like several of these or whatever, that's what raises the suspicion, because I've watched guys who will raise money because so and so's homeless and going through this, but they want it sent to a PayPal of a different person, not the person who's actually having the issues. I watched it happen when guys would have a car accident, but it got sent to something else, and it turns out the guy had gap insurance, and so he wasn't really out the money. I've watched it happen when people were claiming that they had like cancer. Like I literally was with Nate the lawyer. One of the things that Nate the lawyer exposed that we helped him out with was exposing someone who was running a fundraiser to fight cancer that did not exist, and she admitted it on a live with Nate the lawyer, that no, I didn't really have cancer and this and the third. And it was a friend of mine who pretended to be the nurse that was confirming all this stuff, right? And so if you get this, like that's a fraud raiser, right? Running something where it looks like you're legitimately trying to help out a friend, and then things happen because you tried to put the link out there that was a direct link to this person's financial institution or whatever, and it doesn't work, and then you try and do this, and then something happens with YouTube or whatever. I was in the government for 21 years. I was in the Navy for 21 years. I understand how .gov doesn't work 90% of the time. So I want to give somebody a little leeway on that aspect, right? And then the fact that when it got back up, that the fact that he was his military service and called him to question, and he was dealing with that and all this kind of stuff, that to me makes logical sense that you would forget certain things, right? Does not scream fraud raiser to me. Does not scream that he did this in order to raise his money to keep it for himself, right? I don't know how everyone else feels, but this is how I see it, as being someone who has seen multiple of these fraud raisers for things like where they pretend to have kids that didn't have kids. I've watched people do this and when they would put out there that they're pregnant, they need help, and then they would have miscarriage, and it turned out it wasn't true. Like I'm talking like not one miscarriage, but like 3 or 4, right? And so looking at this situation, I get why Blackheart Knight's upset, and I get that to an extent, right? But I also, being around people who have actually done this like grifting shit for years, and watching them do that for years, and talking to the people around them that know that they are legitimately like they're grifting. The only reason they're on YouTube is because they don't want to get a job, and they found out that they can make money on YouTube. At this point, to this day, doesn't scream that to me with him. So I don't know what everyone else thinks, but that's my history with it. So
yeah, I mean, I will let things play out before I publicly, make a public statement. But I've always kept everything transparent, and I joke I'm the worst. Someone accused me. So one of the people that was like anti-Wrangler accused me of faking being the stream I had when I was in the hospital, and I was like, hey everybody, I'm just checking in. I've been in the hospital for like a week, and I was getting all these messages that I just didn't have the energy to answer. They were like, yeah, you're not really sick, you're just doing it to grift. Wow. No, Croc and Patty can attest that I sent pictures of me in the hospital room. And I genuinely am sick, but I'm like, if I am, I'm the world's worst grifter, because I forget to do the like, subscribe, send me super. Like, I forget all that shit all the time. I don't care. So, I'm like, I'm really bad at it if I am. But hey, I mean, it's a lot, and the drama in the community just kills me. And I like that our community, like my community over here, we keep it drama free. Like, yeah, I don't.
Like I said, I can't read the chat. Oh, go ahead. Sorry. I apologize.
No, you're good. Like, we keep it drama free over here. Like, I will squash drama in the chat.
That's why I was asking, like, before I said anything, because I don't want to.
You're allowed to say it.
Unnecessary bullshit.
You're allowed to say it, but it's like if people start jumping into the chat, running them, like, I let people hear that, there's a difference between you're allowed to speak and talk about a situation, but there's a difference between that and handling it like a toddler.
Yes.
And that's kind of what I do.
Well, yeah.
Some of those people did. But not to cut you off, darling. I'm gonna cut this because I gotta crash. To all the beasties, I will see you tonight because it's now after midnight here in Pennsylvania, Eastern at probably about 9:30 tomorrow night. Everyone who'd like to join, thanks for everyone who joined. Navy Tech, you're welcome here anytime.
Well,
Hey,
thank you
Kel.
very much for having me on. Thank you so much for just having me on.
No problem. Anytime. And you've got my Instagram. Anytime you are welcome. You know, like, subscribe, share, people. Let's have our happy little community. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow night for games. Love y'all. Bye.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Hold on.